Sabbath 29, Torah portion Emor, which means speak in Hebrew. From the priestly order, Division 15, Bilga. From the Torah, we have Leviticus chapter 21, verse 1 through chapter 24, verse 23.
Then Yahweh said to Moses, "Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, No one shall defile himself for a dead person among his people, except for his blood relatives who are nearest to him, his mother and his father and his son and his daughter and his brother, also for his virgin sister, who is near to him because she has had no husband. For her he may defile himself. He shall not defile himself as a relative by marriage among his people, and so profane himself. They shall not make any baldness on their heads, nor shave off the edges of their beards, nor make any cuts in their flesh. They shall be holy to their God, and not profane the name of their God, for they bring near the offerings to Yahweh by fire, the food of their God, so they shall be holy. They shall not take a woman who is profaned by harlotry, nor shall they take a woman divorced from her husband, for he is holy to his God. Therefore you shall set him apart as holy, for he brings near the food of your God. He shall be holy to you, for I Yahweh, who makes you holy, am holy. Also the daughter of any priest, if she profanes herself by harlotry, she profanes her father, she shall be burned with fire. And the priest who is the highest among his brothers, on whose head the anointing oil has been poured, and who has been ordained to wear the garments, shall not uncover his head nor tear his clothes, nor shall he approach any dead person nor defile himself even for his father or his mother, nor shall he go out of the sanctuary nor profane the sanctuary of his God, for the dedication of the anointing oil of his God is on him. I am Yahweh. And he shall take a wife in her virginity. A widow or a divorced woman or one who is profaned by harlotry, these he may not take, but rather he shall take a virgin of his own people as a wife, so that he will not profane his seed among his people, for I am Yahweh who makes him holy. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron, saying, No man of your seed throughout their generations who has a defect shall come near to offer the food of his God. For no one who has a defect shall come near, a blind man or a lame man, or he who has a disfigured face or any deformed limb, or a man who has a broken foot or broken hand, or a hunchback or a dwarf, or one who has a defect in his eye or eczema or scabs or crushed testicles. No man among the seed of Aaron the priest who has a defect shall approach to bring near the offerings to Yahweh by fire. Since he has a defect, he shall not approach to bring near the food of his God. He may eat the food of his God, both of the most holy and of the holy, only he shall not go into the veil or approach the altar, because he has a defect, so that he will not profane my sanctuaries. For I am Yahweh who makes them holy. So Moses spoke to Aaron and to his sons and to all the sons of Israel. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Tell Aaron and his sons to be careful with the holy gifts of the sons of Israel, which they set apart to me as holy, so as not to profane my holy name. I am Yahweh. Say to them, If any man among all your seed throughout your generations comes near to the holy gifts which the sons of Israel set apart as holy to Yahweh, and he has an uncleanness, that person shall be cut off from before me. I am Yahweh. No man of the seed of Aaron, who is a leper or who has a discharge, may eat of the holy gifts until he is clean. And if one touches anything made unclean by a corpse, or if a man has a seminal emission, or if a man touches any teeming things by which he is made unclean, or any man by whom he is made unclean, whatever his uncleanness, a person who touches any such thing shall be unclean until evening, and shall not eat of the holy gifts unless he has bathed his body in water. But the sun will set, and he will be clean. And afterward he shall eat of the holy gifts, for it is his food. He shall not eat an animal which dies or is torn by beasts, becoming unclean by it. I am Yahweh. They shall therefore keep my charge so that they will not bear sin because of it, and die thereby because they profane it. I am Yahweh who makes them holy. No layman, however, is to eat the holy gift. A foreign resident with the priest or a hired man shall not eat of the holy gift. But if a priest buys a person as his property with his money, that one may eat of it, and those who are born in his house may eat of his food. If a priest's daughter is married to a layman, she shall not eat of the contribution of the holy gifts. But if a priest's daughter becomes a widow or divorced, and has no seed, and returns to her father's house as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's food, but no layman shall eat of it. But if a man eats a holy gift unintentionally, then he shall add to it a fifth of it, and shall give the holy gift to the priest. They shall not profane the holy gifts of the sons of Israel which they raise up to Yahweh, and so cause them to bear punishment for guilt by eating their holy gifts, for I am Yahweh who makes them holy. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons and to all the sons of Israel, and say to them, Any man of the house of Israel or of the sojourners in Israel who brings near his offering, whether it is any of their votive or any of their freewill offerings, which they bring near to Yahweh for a burnt offering, for you to be accepted, it must be a male without blemish from the cattle, the sheep, or the goats. Whatever has a defect, you shall not bring it near, for it will not be accepted for you. And when a man brings a sacrifice of peace offerings near to Yahweh to fulfill a special vow or for a freewill offering of the herd or of the flock, it must be without blemish to be accepted. There shall be no defect in it. Those that are blind or fractured or maimed or have a running sore or eczema or scabs, you shall not bring near to Yahweh nor make of them an offering by fire on the altar to Yahweh. Now in respect to an ox or a lamb which has an overgrown or stunted member, you may offer it for a freewill offering, but for a votive offering it will not be accepted. Also anything with its testicles bruised or crushed or torn or cut, you shall not bring near to Yahweh, and you shall not do thus in your land, nor shall you bring near any such thing from the hand of a foreigner for offering as the food of your God, for their corruption is in them, they have a defect, they shall not be accepted for you. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, When an ox or a sheep or a goat is born, it shall remain 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day on, it shall be accepted as a sacrifice of an offering by fire to Yahweh. But, whether it is an ox or a sheep, you shall not slaughter both it and its young in 1 day. And when you sacrifice a sacrifice of thanksgiving to Yahweh, you shall sacrifice it so that you may be accepted. It shall be eaten on the same day. You shall leave none of it until morning. I am Yahweh. So you shall keep my commandments and do them. I am Yahweh. And you shall not profane my holy name, but I will be treated as holy among the sons of Israel. I am Yahweh who makes you holy, who brought you out from the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke again to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, The appointed times of Yahweh which you shall proclaim as holy convocations, my appointed times are these. For 6 days work may be done, but on the 7th day there is a Sabbath of complete rest, a holy convocation. You shall not do any work, it is a Sabbath to Yahweh in all your places of habitation. These are the appointed times of Yahweh, holy convocations which you shall proclaim at the times appointed for them. In the 1st month, on the 14th day of the month at twilight is the Passover of Yahweh. Then on the 15th day of the same month there is the feast of unleavened bread to Yahweh. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the 1st day you shall have a holy convocation, you shall not do any laborious work. But for 7 days you shall bring near an offering by fire to Yahweh. On the 7th day is a holy convocation, you shall not do any laborious work. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, When you enter the land which I am going to give to you and reap its harvest, then you shall bring in the sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh for you to be accepted. On the day after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it. Now on the day when you wave the sheaf, you shall offer a male lamb 1 year old without blemish for a burnt offering to Yahweh. Its grain offering shall then be 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering by fire to Yahweh for a soothing aroma, with its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin of wine. Until this same day, until you have brought in the offering of your God, you shall eat neither bread nor roasted grain nor new growth. It is to be a perpetual statute throughout your generations in all your places of habitation. You shall also count for yourselves from the day after the Sabbath, from the day when you brought in the sheaf of the wave offering, there shall be 7 complete Sabbaths. You shall count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath, then you shall bring a new grain offering near to Yahweh. You shall bring in from your places of habitation 2 loaves of bread for a wave offering, made of 2/10 of an ephah. They shall be of a fine flour, baked with leaven as first fruits to Yahweh. Along with the bread you shall bring near 7 one-year-old male lambs without blemish, and a bull from the herd, and 2 rams. They shall be a burnt offering to Yahweh, with their grain offering and their drink offerings, an offering by fire of a soothing aroma to Yahweh. You shall also offer 1 male goat for a sin offering, and 2 male lambs 1 year old for a sacrifice of peace offerings. The priest shall then wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering with 2 lambs before Yahweh. They shall be holy to Yahweh for the priest. On this same day you shall make a proclamation as well. It shall be a holy convocation for you. You shall do no laborious work. It is to be a perpetual statute in all your places of habitation throughout your generations. When you reap the harvest of your land, moreover, you shall not reap to the very corners of your field, nor gather the gleaning of your harvest. You are to leave them for the afflicted and the sojourner. I am Yahweh your God. Again Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, on the 1st of the month you shall have a rest, a memorial by blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work, but you shall bring an offering by fire near to Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, On exactly the 10th day of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. It shall be a holy convocation for you, and you shall humble your souls and bring an offering by fire near to Yahweh. And you shall not do any work on this same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement on your behalf before Yahweh your God. If there is any person who will not humble himself on this same day, he shall be cut off from his people. And as for any person who does any work on this same day, that person I will cause to perish from among his people. You shall do no work at all. It is to be a perpetual statute throughout your generations in all your places of habitation. It is to be a Sabbath of complete rest to you, and you shall humble your souls. On the 9th of the month at evening, from evening until evening you shall keep your Sabbath. Again Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, On the 15th of this 7th month is the Feast of Booths for 7 days to Yahweh. On the first day is a holy convocation. You shall do no laborious work of any kind. For 7 days you shall bring an offering by fire near to Yahweh. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation and bring an offering by fire near to Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly. You shall do no laborious work. These are the appointed times of Yahweh which you shall proclaim as holy convocations, to bring offerings by fire near to Yahweh, burnt offerings and grain offerings, sacrifices and drink offerings, each day's matter on its own day, besides those of the Sabbaths of Yahweh, and besides your gifts, and besides all your votive and freewill offerings, which you give to Yahweh. On exactly the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the produce of the land, you shall celebrate the feast of Yahweh for 7 days, with a rest on the first day and a rest on the 8th day. And on the first day you shall take for yourselves the foliage of beautiful trees, palm branches, and boughs of leafy trees and willows of the brook, and you shall be glad before Yahweh your God for 7 days. You shall thus celebrate it as a feast to Yahweh for 7 days in the year. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall live in booths for 7 days. All the native born in Israel shall live in booths, so that your generations may know that I had the sons of Israel live in booths when I brought them out from the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh your God. So Moses spoke to the sons of Israel the appointed times of Yahweh. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Command the sons of Israel that they bring to you clear oil from beaten olives for the light, to make a lamp burn continually. Outside the veil of testimony in the tent of meeting, Aaron shall keep it in order from evening to morning before Yahweh continually. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. He shall keep the lamps in order on the pure gold lampstand before Yahweh continually. Then you shall take fine flour and bake 12 cakes with it. 2/10 of an ephah shall be in each cake. And you shall set them in 2 rows, 6 to a row, on the pure gold table before Yahweh. And you shall put pure frankincense on each row, that it may be a memorial portion for the bread, even an offering by fire to Yahweh. Every Sabbath day he shall set it in order before Yahweh continually. It is an everlasting covenant for the sons of Israel. And it shall be for Aaron and his sons, and they shall eat it in a holy place, for it is most holy to him from the offerings to Yahweh by fire, his portion forever. Now the son of an Israelite woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the sons of Israel, and the Israelite woman's son and a man of Israel struggled with each other in the camp. And the son of the Israelite woman blasphemed the name and cursed. So they brought him to Moses. Now his mother's name was Shelemith, the daughter of Dibri, of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in custody so that the command of Yahweh might be made clear to them. Then Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Bring the one who is cursed outside the camp, and let all who heard him lay their hands on his head, then let all the congregation stone him. And you shall speak to the sons of Israel, saying, If anyone curses his God, then he will bear his sin. Moreover, the one who blasphemes the name of Yahweh shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall certainly stone him. The sojourner as well as the native, when he blasphemes the name, shall be put to death. If a man strikes down the life of any human being, he shall surely be put to death. And the one who strikes down the life of an animal shall make restitution for it, life for life. If a man injures his neighbor, just as he has done, so it shall be done to him, fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, just as he has injured a man, so it shall be inflicted on him. Thus the one who strikes down an animal shall make restitution for it, but the one who strikes down a man shall be put to death. There shall be one standard of judgment for you, it shall be for the sojourner as well as the native, for I am Yahweh your God. Then Moses spoke to the sons of Israel, and they brought the one who had cursed outside the camp and stoned him with stones. Thus the sons of Israel did, just as Yahweh had commanded Moses.
From the prophet portion, we have Prophet Ezekiel, chapter 44, verses 15 through 31. The Levitical responsibilities. But the Levitical priests, the sons of Zadok, who kept the responsibility of my sanctuary, when the sons of Israel went astray from me, shall come near to me to minister to me, and they shall stand before me to bring near to me the fat and the blood, declares Lord Yahweh. They shall enter my sanctuary, they shall come near to my table, to minister to me, and to keep the responsibility given by me. And it will be that when they enter at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed in linen garments, and wool shall not be on them, while they are ministering in the gates of the inner court and in the house. Linen headdresses shall be on their heads, and linen undergarments shall be on their loins. They shall not gird themselves with anything which makes them sweat. And when they go out into the outer court to the people, they shall put off their garments in which they have been ministering, and lay them in the holy chambers. Then they shall put on other garments, so that they will not transmit holiness to the people with their garments. Also they shall not shave their heads, yet they shall not let their locks grow long. They shall only trim the hair of their heads. Nor shall any of the priests drink wine when they enter the inner court. And they shall not take a widow or a divorced woman as a wife, but shall take virgins from the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow who is the widow of a priest. Moreover, they shall instruct my people about the difference between the holy and the profane, and make them know the difference between the unclean and the clean. And in a dispute they shall take their stand to judge. They shall judge it according to my judgments. They shall also keep my laws and my statutes in all my appointed times, and keep my Sabbaths holy. But they shall not go to a dead person to make themselves unclean. However, for father, for mother, for son, for daughter, for brother, or for a sister who has not had a husband, they shall make themselves unclean. And after he is cleansed, 7 days shall be counted for him. And on the day that he goes into the sanctuary, into the inner court to minister in the sanctuary, he shall bring near his sin offering, declares Lord Yahweh. And it shall be with regard to an inheritance for them, that I am their inheritance. And you shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. They shall eat the grain offering, the sin offering, and the guilt offering. And every devoted thing in Israel shall be theirs. And the first of all the firstfruits of every kind, and every contribution of every kind, from all your contributions, shall be for the priests. You shall also give to the priest the first of your dough, to cause a blessing to rest on your house. The priest shall not eat any bird or any beast that has died of itself, or has been torn to pieces. From the Renewed Covenant, we have Hebrews chapter 7, verses 1 through 28. The priesthoods of Melchizedek and Messiah. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham as he was returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham apportioned a tenth part of all, was first of all, by the translation of his name, King of Righteousness, and then also King of Salem, which is King of Peace. Without father or mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like the Son of Elohim, he remains a priest continually. Now observe how great this man was, to whom Abraham the patriarch gave a tenth of the spoils. And those indeed of the sons of Levi, who received the priest office, have a commandment in the law to collect a tenth from the people, that is, from their brothers, although these are descended from Abraham. But the one whose genealogy is not traced from them had collected a tenth from Abraham, and blessed the one who had the promises. But without any dispute, the lesser is blessed by the greater. And in this case, mortal men receive tithes, but in that case one receives them, of whom it is witnessed that he lives on. And so to speak, through Abraham, even Levi, who received tithes, paid tithes. For he was still in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. Now if perfection was through the Levitical priesthood, for on the basis of it the people received the law, what further need was there for another priest to arise according to the order of Melchizedek, and not to be designated according to the order of Aaron? For when the priesthood is changed, of necessity, there takes place a change of law also. For the one concerning whom these things are spoken belongs to another tribe, from which no one has officiated at the altar. For it is evident that our Lord was descended from Judah, a tribe with reference to which Moses spoke nothing concerning priests. And this is clearer still, if another priest arises according to the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become such not according to a law of physical requirement, but according to the power of an indestructible life. For it is witnessed about him, you are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. For on the one hand, there is a setting aside of a former commandment, because of its weakness and uselessness. For the law made nothing perfect. On the other hand, there is a bringing in of a better hope, through which we draw near to Elohim. And inasmuch as it was not without an oath, for they indeed became priests without an oath, but he with an oath through the one who said to him, "The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever." So much more, Yeshua also has become the guarantee of a better covenant. And the former priests, on the one hand, existed in great numbers, because they were prevented by death from continuing. But Yeshua, on the other hand, because he continues forever, holds his priesthood permanently. Therefore he is able to also to save forever those who draw near to Elohim through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them. For it was fitting for us to have such a high priest, holy, innocent, undefiled, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens, who does not need daily, like those high priests, to offer up sacrifices for his own sins and then for the sins of the people, because this he did once for all, for when he offered up himself. For the law appoints men as high priests who are weak, but the word of the oath, which came after the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever.